The Mughal Empire, the renowned Muslim nation-state that ruled India for over 300 years, and at one point it nearly encompassed the entire subcontinent. The man responsible for the rise of the Mughal dynasty? Babur. But how did he rise to prominence? Zahir-ud-Din Muhammad, better known as Babur, was born in 1483 in the city of Adijan in the Fergana Valley, which is today a part of modern-day Uzbekistan. Babur hails from a rich ancestral background, as his father, Omar Sheikh Mirza II, was the emir of the Fergana Valley and claims direct descendant to the famous Turco-Mongol conqueror Timur. Meanwhile, his mother, Kutluk Khanum, claimed descendants to the renowned Genghis Khan. Babur pertained to the Barlas tribe, which were originally Mongol but had embraced a Turkic and Persian culture, though modern Uzbek and Soviet sources affirm that he was most likely an ethnic Uzbek. At the time of his birth, his father Sheikh Mirza II was the emir of the Fergana Valley, though this came to an end when Babur was only 12, as his father died following a building collapsing on him, in which Babur subsequently assumed the throne in Fergana in 1492, beginning his first experience as a leader. However, upon ascending to the throne, his rule was immediately challenged by two of his uncles, Mahmud Chagatai and Ahmed Miran Shah, though Babur managed to defeat this threat, in part due to help from his maternal grandmother, Aysan Dalot Begum. Later on in 1497, at the age of 15, Babur besieged the famous city of Samarkand, successfully conquering the area over a period of 7 months. However, in the aftermath of the victory, thousands of his soldiers deserted him. Furthermore, a revolt in Fergana, in which the nobility preferred his half-brother Jahangir Mirza II, caused Babur to leave Samarkand and head back to Fergana, though on his way home, Samarkand was conquered to a rival prince, which left Babur with neither cities. This eventually spurred him to focus on rebuilding his army, in which it is noted that he recruited many Tajiks from the Badkhshan region, in conjunction with the Tarkhan family, an aristocratic class of Turco-Mongol people who inhabited the steppe, prompted Babur to recapture Samarkand. This culminated him in laying siege to the city for a second time in 1500, and it is noted that Babur initially tasted success, as by November of 1500 he temporarily seized Samarkand from the Uzbeks, though this was short-lived, as in May in the following year he was routed by the Khanate of Bukhara at the time, Muhammad Shaiban, in the Battle of Saraypur, eventually causing Babur to live a rough life for the next couple of years, in which he was homeless and wandering through the mountains of Central Asia, taking refuge with the hill tribes. And it was only until 1502 when he sought the protection in Tashkent, which was ruled by his uncle Mahmud Khan. Babur still lived rough in the city, as he stated, "During my stay in Tashkent, I endured much poverty and humiliation, no country or hope of one." However, this was about to change, as in 1504, while he was on his way to his cousin Hussein Baykhara, he re-aimed his focus to Kabul. This is because the previous ruler of the city, Ulugh Beg, an uncle of Babur, had died, leaving an infant son as the heir, leading to Muhsin Beg claiming the throne, who was considered to be an usurper and was opposed by the local populace. Babur managed to take possession of Kabul with ease. Subsequently, Muhsin Beg fled to Kandahar. At the same time, Babur also managed to take control of Ghazni, and in 1505, Babur received an invitation to invade a district called Beraa, leading him to conduct an expedition down the Khyber Pass, in which he successfully captured Kohant and Beraa, and momentum was on Babur's side, as by 1507 he seized Kandahar from Shah Beg and Mukin. The conquest continued for Babur, as by 1510 he attempted to take Samarkand, in which he successfully seized the city for a third time in 1511, though again this was short-lived, as by 1512 he relinquished the city to the Uzbeks. Following this defeat, Babur eventually returned to Kabul, in which the following few years was a relatively tranquil period, as he did not attempt any invasions. The region of Hindustan had been a lifelong aim for Babur, as he wrote in his memoirs, the Baburnama. my desire for Hindustan had been constant. Beginning in 1519, the interval of inactivity came to an end when he launched an invasion into the north of India, in which it is noted that he successfully besieged the Babur fortress. Furthermore, historians such as Ferishta state that in the same year he conducted an expedition against the Yusufzais, a tribe in Afghanistan, in which Babur advanced as far as Peshawar, though he did not cross the Indus. And in the following year, in 1520, Babur crossed the Jhelum River in modern-day Punjab, managing to seize Sialkot. He then continued his advances to Saidpur, plundering the region in the process. However, he was recalled to Kabul due to an imminent threat in which the city was attacked. This resulted in Babur believing that the conquest of Hindustan can only occur once he secured his base at Kandahar. Therefore, in the following years, he spent securing the stronghold in Kabul and the territory between Ghazni and Khorasan. In 1524, Babur received an invitation from Daulat Khan Lodi, the governor of the Punjab, and Alauddin, the uncle of Ibrahim Lodi, the ruler of the Delhi Sultanate. This was due to the fact that his empire was crumbling. Since 1451, the north of India had been ruled by the Lodi dynasty, which usurped the previous rulers, the Sayyid dynasty, as Alauddin voluntarily abdicated the throne of the Delhi Sultanate in favour of Bahlul Khan Lodi. However, by 1517, the last ruler of the dynasty, Ibrahim Lodi, had assumed control of the Delhi Sultanate, though it was marred with problems right from the start. Following his assumption to power, he spent his time fighting other Afghan nobles, especially Daulat Khan Lodi, the ruler of the Punjab. Lodi also faced constant threat from the Rajput rulers. This is evident as between 1518 and 1519, Rana Sanga, the ruler of Memar, defeated the Lodi king in the Battle of Khatoli and Dholpur. Furthermore, supply connections had broken down by the end of the 15th century, as previously the Deccan region was the primary commercial route in the past. Added, due to the specific trade routes' failure and collapse, India's interior was cut off from the coast in terms of supplies. The Lodi dynasty suffered greatly as a result of supplies being cut off, and the trade suffered as well because they were unable to defend themselves should conflict break out. This resulted in poor economic conditions, and treasuries were quickly depleted. Lastly, another factor that contributed to Ibrahim Lodi's demise was the lack of an apparent heir should he perish. This prompted Babur to launch an invasion into Hindustan, in which he reached Lahore in 1524, subsequently defeating the forces of the Lodi dynasty. However, it was not until 1526 that Babur engaged in a conflict with Ibrahim Lodi himself when he launched another invasion into India. The battle was fought on the 21st of April near the small village of Panipat in the present-day Indian state of Haryana. It is estimated that Babur's forces numbered around 15,000 men and had between 20 to 24 pieces of field artillery. However, Babur estimated that Lodi's army was around 100,000 men, though that number included camp followers, while the fighting forces was around 30 to 40,000 men in total, along with at least 1,000 war elephants. It is generally accepted that Babur's guns proved decisive in the battle. Firstly, because Ibrahim Lodi lacked any field artillery, as well as the fact that the sound of the cannons frightened Lodi's elephants, causing them to trample Lodi's own men. Due to Ibrahim Lodi being killed in the battle, this brought the Lodi dynasty to an end, and subsequently after the battle, Babur occupied Delhi and Agra, taking the throne off Lodi, and laid the foundations for the eventual rise of Mughal rule in India. Upon achieving this decisive victory, Babur's new territory encompassed Agra and Delhi. However, unlike his ancestor Timur, Babur was adamant on staying in India. This caused Rana Sanga to challenge him to his rule, as he viewed the Mughal ruler as a foreigner in Indian territory. He was also motivated by the desire to extend his Rajput territories into the important cities of Delhi and Agra. Sanga was supported by the Afghan chiefs, who felt Babur had been deceptive by refusing to fulfill his promises made to them. Upon receiving the news of Rana Sanga's advances towards Agra, Babur took a defensive position at Khanwa, currently in the Indian state of Rajasthan, from where he hoped to launch a counterattack later on. Despite the Rajput Confederation's army outnumbering Babur's army, the Mughals emerged victorious, which consequently led to Agra becoming the centre of power for the Mughals, which was a change from the previous centre, Kabul. This was not the end between Rana Sanga and Babur, as the former made preparations for a renewed conflict. Babur then decided to isolate Rana by defeating one of his staunchest allies, Medini Rai, who was the ruler of Malwa. Upon reaching Chaderi on the 20th of January 1528, Babur offered Shamsabad to Medini Rai in exchange for Shandari as a peace overture, but the offer was rejected by Rai. The outer fortress of Shandari was taken by Babur's army at night, and the next morning the upper fort was captured. However, Babur expressed surprise that the upper fort had fallen within an hour of the final assault. Medini Rai organized the Jahor ceremony, during which Rajput women and children committed self-immolation to save their honor from the Mughals. However, this did not impress Babur, who did not utter a single word of admiration for the act. It is noted that the violence of Babur in the 1520s was witnessed by Guru Nanak, who commented upon it in 4 hymns. Historians suggest that the early Mughal period of religious violence contributed to the introspection and then the transformation in Sikhism from pacifism to militancy for self-defense. According to the Baburnama, his campaign in northwest India targeted Hindus and Sikhs as well as apostates, any non-Sunni Muslims, and it is noted large amounts of people were killed, with Muslim camps building towers of skulls of the infidels on hillocks. It is noted that Babur had a great passion for literature, art, music and gardening. However, his most deepest passion was poetry, to such an extent that when he would conquer a new land, he would acquire any books that can be found, as well as poets that hailed from the region, demonstrating his love for the genre. Unlike other descendants of Timur and Genghis Khan, he was not an advocate for Yasa laws that were synonymous with the Mongols. Rather, he preferred the laws derived from the Quran and Sunnah, which made up the Sharia. Babur's life came to an end in 1530 when he passed at the age of only 47, where he was initially buried in Agra, but as per his wishes, his mortal remains were moved to Kabul, where he was reburied in Bagh-e-Baba sometime between 1539 to 1544. The consequences of Babur's invasions and the establishment of the Mughal Empire in India as a Muslim nation state within the subcontinent has rendered him a national hero in many countries in Asia. Firstly, in Pakistan, the government began developing a missile named after Babur in October 2005. This can also be seen in Uzbekistan, in which Babur is also considered a national hero, to the extent that on the 14th of February 2008, stamps in his name were issued in the country to commemorate his 525th birth anniversary. Some sources also suggest that he's also revered as a national hero in Kyrgyzstan. However, what do you guys think? Is Babur a national hero or not? Let me know in the comments down below.